The starting lineup presented by PNC Bank. You see Jarrett Jack listed also as the coach. We had mentioned Steven Jackson not here for this weekend, out for personal reasons. So Jarrett Jack will be a player and a coach. You see Tri-State, of course, led by Julius Irving, Jay Rich, Nate Robinson, a couple of the star players for them. Nancy, who is your PNC overdraft protection player to watch?
Well, for Trilogy, it has to be Jarrett Jack. He has to get around that 20-point or more range. And for Tri-State, it's going to be a combination. I'll go with Jason Richardson has to set the tone.
John Sally standing by with one Jarrett Jack, player coach. Spider.
Well, I know you're intelligent enough to be the coach and the player because you graduated from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, you know, it's my first time doing it maybe simultaneously, but, you know, I think I'm up for the task.
Well, Bill Russell did it and won championships. I'm not putting any pressure on you.
That's the list. Me, Bill Russell, that's good company right there.
Good luck, Coach. All right, back to you, Tom.
It's a short list. Thank you, Tom. Nancy, what are going to be his biggest challenges, though, in all seriousness, as a player coach today?
It's just going to be my substitution. Not only do I have to play the game and I have to be a star in the game, but I've got to figure out substitutions, things that a coach would do, timeouts, trends.
Robinson, the hesitation move out to Earl Clark for the first bucket. We start out a little bit differently in our second playoff game than we did the first.
Earl Clark is a little bit of a problem because he has that. He has a mid-range game. He's great rebounding. He's kind of one of those, you know, unheralded players.
He went second overall in the first round of this year's draft for good reason. 3 years at Louisville. Pulls up from the corner. Jarrett Jack, leading scorer here from this team. That's a 2. And Jay Rich with the rebound. Clark gets blocked by Johnson. And Jay Rich cleans it up.
Well, we talked about those 50-50 balls. You have to be ready and you have to be alert.
Clock in Big 3 basketball. And the first of 25, and we get to halftime at that mark. You got to get to 50 to win it and win by 2. Robinson was eyeing that 4-point spot.
You know, I really love Nate Robinson. I love his heart, what he's been able to do. He is such an emotional player, but he is streaky.
White down the middle for the flush.
And we're used to seeing James White in the corner. The location, the location, the location.
That was not the corner.
No, but it was flush.
Jay Rich pulls up. Jack looking to take on, and he hits.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for Nate Robinson because, you know, teams are going to post him up and they're going to shoot over him.
2 points for White, 2 points for Jack. So the 2 buckets for Trilogy. 138 total points scored. That's 5th best in Big 3 basketball this year for Jarrett Jack as he's trying to back down Nate Robinson.
And that's problematic. You know, we've done that every time we've played him over the last 3 years. We just tried to get him down somewhere near the paint and make him defend.
Robinson turning the corner. Get the lefty layup to drop. Jarrett Jack, no hesitation for 3. Jay Rich got that quick first step. Blocked that time by White. Jay Rich blocked again by White. And White picks it up and rims out. Uh-oh. 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 Clark had that look in his eye.
And that was pretty nifty ball handling right there by Earl Clark.
Jarrett Jack from the top of the key. That's a 3-pointer. And we got a timeout already, Dr. J. He wants to chat about it. Tri-State, the #1 seed, trailing early. quickly here in this first half, 9-3.
Game, so this is a perfect opportunity for them.
Calling out a timeout. See what Tri-State comes up with. There's your first points for Denton. You're real familiar with that guy.
Let me tell you, he's one of the finest people I know, but you know, there's never been a shot he did not like because he's so good at what he does.
Well, Denton looking down to check his feet. Gets a three-point shot.
Remember Vinnie Johnson, the microwave?
Yes.
In the NBA for many years with the Pistons. That's what Justin Detman has done. He's played in the NBA, he's played everywhere. He is just a baller.
John Sally might remember Vinnie Johnson. And a bucket or two as well. Off of the rebound, and it's James White who hits the three-point shot. And a 12-8 advantage now for Trilogy.
Right here, Jack pulling up from mid-range. You can see him back in. Jarrett Jack, so happy to be able to shoot the rock in the big three.
Lynn has already seen in her sleep, right? Every night until today.
Absolutely, but he is such a good player. I'm really proud of the Suns and Monty Williams for bringing him aboard.
12-8 advantage for Trilogy. We saw the number 3 seed, the three-headed Monsters, knock off the number 2 seed. Would we see the number 4 seed knock off the number 1 seed here in the second playoff game?
Yeah, Trilogy's a kind of a everybody get involved kind of team. They don't care who is their leading scorer, but they play hard.
Play a little bit smaller too. Denton has been a good sub again for Tri-State, but can't get that one to drop. Picks off the steal. And feeding inside for the and one. Larry Sanders has a free throw coming up.
It's amazing when defense leads to offense. Beautiful play right here by Tri-State. You have to be able to recover on air. They reversed it to the weak side. Larry Sanders parks himself under the rim and makes the shot.
One of the emotional players here in the big three. Got to the playoffs with the three-headed Monsters in 2019. Something if he can play for a championship against the three-headed Monsters coming up next Saturday.
Nobody really talks about how important it is to be a great screener in the NBA or in the big three, but those are the people you reward.
Jay Wrench for three. You talk about 6 eyes and keeping track of that on Joe Johnson in our first playoff game. Maybe we should make screening another somehow stat to track, huh?
It's an amazing thing for a team when you have someone who is a great screener, and that's
Jason Richardson picking up the foul.
That's a smart play by Amir Johnson. You know, you have those basketball alert plays, and he just got the ball in the basket and went right up with it and got fouled.
Amir Johnson, you remember the last American player to be drafted into the NBA straight out of high school, the second round to the Pistons. It was right before the NBA rule to give yourself at least a year after high school age at 18 years old. Feeding down low to Larry Sanders. Those long arms battling for the rebound. Trilogy got a piece. Still battling for it.
Yeah, this is just a fight to get to a championship game here. We talked about the multiple efforts. Great job by Jack, but now you see Sanders in the fight, Amir Johnson in the fight, and then, you know, unfortunately, you have for Tri-State the foul.
Julius Irving, Dr. J, the championship trophy has his name on it. Wouldn't that be something? You hand yourself the trophy with your name on it? How does that work?
You know, I asked him about that yesterday at practice. I said, so what is that going to look like psychologically? You hand the Dr. J trophy to your son. How would you like to be able to make that call and then have Dr. J standing right by you?
Hovering over you.
Yeah, but see, nobody really has a clear handle on the ball until Amir gets it. Challenge was successful, so no foul on the play. I mean, that's a smart play right there to be able to challenge that.
The call's reversed, and Dr. J gets to keep his challenge. He can use it again in this game if he needs to. Again, first and 25, and that'll be the end of our first half. Detman. And we'll stay with Tri-State from the sideline. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Again, no game clock. They use a 14-second shot clock. And oh man, Briscoe, one of the youngest players in the league, looked like it there defensively.
Well, that was a veteran play by Jason Richardson, and Briscoe coming in the game and just not being locked in to what was on the score. You got to contest that, but you can't foul.
Isaiah Briscoe is 25 years old, the youngest in the Big Three this year. That was also a rule change. Jay Rich gets 1 shot for 3 points. And another possession here, a 4-point try.
You can just see Larry Sanders' length makes you have to box out before you get to the ball.
I mean, length in the legs, length in the arms, length in the torso.
Yeah, it's just, it's difficult, you know, when he is that aggressive offensively. But watch this right here. Briscoe trying to make up for it. I think this is a great challenge with Bring the Fire. Taco Bell is pleased to be able to bring the fire.
With Nancy's mild sauce on the side.
Mild sauce. I can't do hot.
Taco Bell, bring the fire. 1 per half. A challenge of a shooting foul. The 2 players involved go 1-on-1. And again, each team gets 1 bring the fire challenge per half. Briscoe up against Jay Rich. 10 seconds to get a shot off. Briscoe all the way.
That's great defense. You can just see right here, Briscoe was like, this is where I'm going, and Jay Rich just contested it because he's such a great jumper.
Finger roll won't drop that time for Dentman. Jarrett Jack with the 7 points. He hasn't scored in a while. Trilogy with a 2-point edge. Here's Jack, high arcing shot. Detman drawing some contact. And Sanders setting the screen from the elbow. Detman off balance.
Yeah, so much of this is the rebounding around the rim, and I keep saying this. While the ball is in the air, you have to carve out space and hold somebody off, because once you get underneath the basket and they push you under the rim, you're not going to get that rebound. It's a good substitution. These guys are exhausted.
This is playoff intensity. We saw it in the first playoff game. We're seeing it here in the first half of the second playoff game. Winner of this one meets the 3-headed monsters in the championship coming up next Saturday on CBS. And Jack will have 1 shot worth 2 points as Richardson fouls him.
You know, and Jason Richardson is going to have to pick his poison, because as Dr. J told him, you're probably going to have to play the entire game. So you have to find some time to rest.
Touching every part of the rim for the 2 points. And Trilogy now with a 4-point edge. Detman pulls up and fires and gets hit from 3.
James, watch the tape. That's what he does. It's who he is. He gets you, and then when he puts his legs out, you've got to back away. It might not be a basketball play, and I know the NBA, different leagues are looking at that, but Justin is so good at that.
1 shot for 3 points, and Detman hits it. Eight points now for Justin Detman.
He's a bucket.
Briscoe backing him down, rejected by Jay Rich. Jay Rich, he ran it all the way.
Briscoe has to have recognition that once he gets somebody in the paint, somebody's coming for it.
Jack off the 1 foot. First to 25.
It's a really fun battle here, seeing Jack and Deppman.
Clark, not that time. Left to wide open for Briscoe. Jay Rich from the corner. Briscoe, I don't know if that's a good idea. Clark got him. And Clark finishes it off.
You can't just do that one-hand thing around the basket. These guys are so long and athletic. You've got to gather yourself, take the contact, and finish strong.
That was 6'3", and Briscoe up against 6'10" in Earl Clark.
You know, sometimes you see guys like Barboza do that, guys who are bigger and stronger than you.
Isaiah Briscoe played a couple years at Kentucky, again the youngest player in the Big Three. So he's not those guys right now. 1-point edge, Trilogy over Tri-State. They're going to review this.
You know, that's usually the players lobbying the coaches. Now the players are lobbying the player coach in Jared Jack.
And again, no Steven Jackson, not here for personal reasons. Normally the head coach for Trilogy, not here this weekend. So you're looking at Jared Jack as the player and the coach.
Let's see if we can figure this out for Jared Jack.
Next Saturday right here at Atlantis, Bahamas. Big Three Championship on CBS.
I don't know, it looks, to me it looks like it was off Earl Clark's hands, but again, it's been years. I was, but I was hoping he didn't have the TV on. I'm fighting for my life at home.
The call is reversed. Trilogy gets it from the baseline.
It's a big moment for me here at the Big Three.
Atlanta's Paradise Island, but not necessarily Paradise numbers here for either one of these teams. Shooting numbers hard to come by. Joe Johnson in that first game, 2 of 13 shooting. We saw individually he struggled shooting the ball here. Taking it baseline, it's Jack for 2. He's got 13 in this game. 13 of the 18 points for Jared Jack. Dentman and Clark, a little two-player game coming from behind. It's White. White to Briscoe, all alone.
Smart play right there. First, Briscoe, when he got the ball, he should have gone right back up with it, but then he did have that recognition to kick it out and, you know, yell at his teammate that he was open underneath. Man, that's just old school fun basketball. You know, you turn it over, you go right back up, or you know, you get over the limit, it's a make it, take it. It's the way we played the game growing up.
That's part of the vision, Ice Cube. Organizers of the Big Three after this league. Year number 4. Clark from up top, that's a 3 and drops in. His second three-point make of the game. Again, both of these teams trying to get to 25, and that'll be halftime. Jack is short. Here's White. And then they leave Jared Jack wide open. Pulling it down with one hand is Isaiah Briscoe.
Well, this game is just, you know, everybody's making their shots. Earl Clark is a shot maker. If you look at the statistics, it will bear out that he can knock down three-point shots.
Clark's got a couple today. He had one made three-pointer in the last game of the regular season against the Triplets in week 8. Clark picking it up. Jack got it. To White. Inside jumper.
You know, that was a pretty unbelievable play by Jared Jack. He lost the ball, and that's just an easy shot.
Offensive rebound and put back for Earl Clark.
Don't sleep on Earl Clark. He's got it on both sides of the ball.
Jack throwing it up. He was looking for a call, didn't get it. Jay Rich not there. They're letting him play a little bit. Here's White for Curry. 25 points there for Trilogy, and we're at halftime. James White getting the final bucket of the first half.
James White shoots 52% from 3. You have to know your personnel. KYP, know your personnel. He is a professional shooter, especially from the corners.
That's the end of the first half, 25-20. Trilogy over Tri-State. We'll return to the Bahamas after these messages. You're watching the Big 3 playoffs from the Bahamas, presented by Verizon. John Spider-Salad.
All right, so I'm sitting here. You got 10 points out of the 25,
Something like that.
and you got a dunk.
Yeah, I ain't had one of those in a long time.
Me either, but how old you now?
38.
38, you dunking the ball?
That's why they call me Flight.
Oh, that's why they call you Fight. All right, well, you know what? 25 more points, and you go to the championship against Gary Payton.
Ready to do it.
All right, let's get it.
The Flight, two-time dunk contest runner-up. And Trilogy again playing without its head coach, trying to get to the championship this weekend without Steven Jackson, out for personal reasons. Jared Jack being the player coach. And certainly you've talked about it, Nancy. You know that Steven Jackson is having all kinds of communication with these guys.
Oh, he has to. He's such a wonderful guy and works so hard as a player and then as a coach.
Jack snaking his way that time in for 2. 17 points here in the game. Nate Robinson again getting the start. He sat for a bit towards the tail end of that first half. Feeding Sanders. Up against Johnson, the lefty hook is good.
And that's an interesting start for Tri-State now that he's starting Larry Sanders in the second half.
Larry Sanders normally coming off the bench along with Justin Dettman, and Jack has been tough to stop tonight.
For Nate Robinson, you cannot continue to go under the screen. You have to fight over the top of the screen and compete with him.
Robinson in traffic. And score in the first half, has a couple buckets here to begin the second half. First team to 50 wins, you gotta win by 2. And the winner will play the three-headed monsters in the championship, the number 3 seed knocking off the defending champs, the Triplets, in the first playoff game. Jared Jack gets the rebound, he clears, can't knock it down. And Robinson with the 4 points. All coming in the second half here. Sanders with that move. He stuck that left shoulder down and got it to drop.
Yeah, he just is showing that he wants to win that battle of the big. And he's gone right and he's gone left.
Clark to Robinson. White looking to take off the bounce, pump fake, and it's in for 2.
Hey, James White, you're showing us your full package of what you can do with the basketball. That is a beautiful move. Great footwork.
8 points, 6 rebounds that he had in the first half. Robinson out to Clark for 3. Sharp shooting, Earl Clark.
White has to recognize where Earl Clark is on the court and not just let him shoot practice shots.
Leading scorer on the Tri-State side.
And we talked about how Earl Clark is shooting the basketball for his team, but you know, he's shooting 39% on the season. If you let these guys get their feet set, it's buckets. This is what they do for a living.
13 points here for Clark. He missed the 1 3-point shot in the first half. He was 2 of 3 shooting from 3-point territory in the first half. They leave Sanders alone, so he'll take it. Jack likes that quick shot after he clears and he knocks it down. Robinson couldn't get over there in time.
Yeah, that's that quick transition. You can even have that in 3-on-3. Rebound, sprint to your spots, and get a quick pass.
We've seen Justin Dentman come in and produce. He had 8 points in the first half. When do we see him come in here for Tri-State?
It's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. Dr. J has given Nate an opportunity to try and get hot, get streaky, but he's going to put Justin in the game, and here he comes.
Look at that.
Justin Denton is back for Tri-State.
It's almost like we have direct, maybe you do with Dr. J. Direct communication?
I have him on speed dial. This texting thing is working out for me.
Denton into the game. He'll inbound. Clark taking the contact. +1.
Good battle going on right here. Two teams that are fighting so hard to get to the championship game, and you have to make plays like this. James White, you open up a little bit too soon, and Earl made you pay for it.
Can't get the and one free throw. 2-point edge for Trilogy. Jack with the 23 points. Pump fake. He's going to try to win it for all himself.
He's so good. He's very humble and kind and respectful.
25 points for Trilogy. The number 4 seed inching closer thanks to the distant shooting from Jarrett Jack, putting on a show. At halftime, they're still doing a majority of the scoring, combined 35 points for Trilogy.
Jared Jack has 10 points in the second half, 10 at the half, so he's stayed hot.
Get first to 50, nearly had an alley-oop. First to 50, win by 2.
You know, that's a really nice play. You have a screen set on ball side, then you have Larry Sanders, and you pull that weak side defender. Look at this right here. He just throws it up, and he knows Larry will go get it.
Sanders off the bench, he's in the game. Dentman off the bench, he's in the game. And Earl Clark, your other starter. You got Jay Rich and Nate Robinson on the bench right now for Tri-State. 4-point edge for Trilogy. Make it a 7-point edge.
You know, I hope we see that again. Jared Jack, he was getting a screen from Amir Johnson. He said, no, go away, and he called James White to the screen because he wanted that matchup. You know, watch this right here. This is a veteran player who says, no, 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 no. He sends somebody away, and then he gets the matchup he's looking for and finishes the deal.
Well, he was close to that 4-point spot. And a 3-point make. Clark with the runner. White gets the rebound. Turnover by Trilogy, and it's Clark who stepped on the sideline.
Yeah, turnover and turnover. But, you know, you work on this every day in practice. Do not put your foot back right here. When you step back, you have to be, that's awareness.
Tied up, Dentman whistled for the foul as Johnson went down. 10 points away for Trilogy, the number 4 seed to get to the championship game.
The physicality is everywhere. Watch this screen. Justin trying to get through the screen. And it's, you know, it's all about hand-to-hand combat. and you have to be so strong, especially if you're a guard, to get over these screens.
Jack with the crossover. Oh, that hard screen. There it was. Johnson with the offensive foul.
I think that was a beautiful, award-winning flop by my friend Justin Detman, because they flipped the screen right here. I don't really think that that was the foul. What do I know? I'm sitting with you. We're just
the Coach of the Year in 2018, Hall of Famer. Three-point attempt. Clark sizes it up. It's his fourth three-point make.
Yeah, Earl's just playing great basketball.
Detman trying to tee up Jack. Loses his footing. And the little guy, they throw it right off of Detman. And Detman is saying it went off of me, but then it hit Johnson last. And they're not going to review this, I don't think, or will they?
You know, so many times as a coach, you just don't want to review something because you're not sure. And again, I know I've said this, you're relying on your players to not just be emotional, but to actually know that that happened.
Again, this is the second challenge by Dr. J. It's one per coach per game, but Dr. J won his initial challenge in the first half, so he gets another one that he can use here.
Well, Justin is already out of bounds, and I think he's right. Justin is already out of bounds, so he throws it off a guy who's already out of bounds.
Right.
I mean, Justin's out of bounds and Amir is in bounds.
If Detman's foot was not on the ground and he was in the air and it went off Detman and then it went off Johnson, then Detman has a case.
So now he's lost his challenge.
So no more challenges left for Tri-State. Jarrett Jack as the player coach in the place of Steven Jackson, who's out for personal reasons this weekend. Dropping it off early. A fantastic dime to Johnson.
Oh, that's a walk.
They didn't call it. Clark along too. That was the Bahamas two-step.
That was the, yeah, I was going to say the icky shuffle.
4-point advantage for Trilogy. They've been sitting on 40. Again, it's the first to 50, and you have to win by 2 to advance to the championship. Jack, you know, Steven Jackson, watching this, he's going to say, we need to make Jarrett Jack maybe a player coach every game. He got 28 points.
He's doing a great job. But, you know, in half-court basketball, there's so many pick and rolls. It is always a race to the top foot. If you're, look at Jarrett Jack. He just knows how to get to his spots. Justin is late. He's trailing on his hip. Just enough time for him to release that shot.
He's got 30 of the 42 for Trilogy.
And I do not recall him taking himself out of the game.
Would you have guessed that he would have? From the corner, James White. And Trilogy can smell a spot in the championship, 5 points away.
Make sure you support your team right now. You got with Tri-State, they need to know you are in the building.
The first playoff appearance for Trilogy since winning that 2017 title. Detman for 3 is off the mark. They have missed the playoffs, Trilogy has, in 2018 and 2019. Can they get back to the championship? And Jack draws the foul on Detman.
He's so good on those straight line drives. He knows how to get into your heart and your hip and take away your recovery angle, and all you can do is lunge at him.
James White with 13 points, Sanders with the finish.
Yeah, that's a typical, I pulled the chair out from a little smart play by Justin Detman, and you could hear Jarrett Jack saying, Amir, give me the ball. It's a beautiful play right there by Detman. Anytime you're a little on a big like that, just pull the chair out, let them drop, and then here comes Larry Sanders with the flush.
Didn't have to clear it that time. And Sanders and Tri-State, the #1 seed, not going away. Well, tonight on CBS begins with SWAT, followed by NCIS New Orleans, plus 48 hours. All that is coming up tonight on CBS after this second and final playoff game of Big Three basketball is complete. First team to 50 points wins this one. You must win by 2. Jarrett Jack knows it's winning time. He's got 30 already in this game.
Well, Jarrett Jack just knows how to create space for his shots. He squares his shoulders and his hips up. He reads the second line defense.
Jack with the post up on Detman. And a clear out on the right side. Jack's got 32.
You see how he uses his body just to fend you off? There's no way you can get around.
Point game, Trilogy, a three-pointer seals the deal. They are on their way to
32 points by Jarrett Jack. 34 by Joe Johnson is the all-time Big Three record. And Cube sitting on the sideline, his courtside seat taken in this one.
Well, he's with his beautiful wife, Miss Kim. They are deity in the entertainment and now in the sports world.
Had the vision to bring the playoffs to the Bahamas. Months of work, 12 teams competing. 3 now left in the right to play the three-headed monsters for the championship. Detman, that's a 4-point try, and he hits.
Such a smart play by JD.
Our first 4-point game, Jack for 3. What a game! Has the record, 50 points, and Trilogy punches his ticket to the championship.
That is unbelievable. Justin made that beautiful 4, relaxed. Jack took advantage of it. There was nobody on him. What a performance by Trilogy.
35 points for Jarrett Jack, the Big Three record, surpassing Joe Johnson's 34. That 3, the game winner in championship style.
Well, you just know, look at this. And all of a sudden here comes Justin going, oh my gosh, why did I sink under the basket? This is a great game for Steven Jackson. Coach, if you're watching at home, I know you are, congratulations to your team.
Steven Jackson not coaching for personal reasons, had to watch remotely. And Jarrett Jack as the player coach for Trilogy today. A record-setting performance. He put Trilogy on his shoulders to get to the championship. A championship that you'll get to see next Saturday on CBS. How about this? It's the 3 versus the 4 for the title. And that third place game, we'll see the Triplets and Tri-State. Those 2 teams met in the last game of the regular season.
This is exactly why you have to come with your A game all the time. This league is too competitive.
A couple of playoff games that gave us all kinds of drama. For John Sally on the sideline, Nancy Lieberman, I'm Lisa Byington, Kamani Morales, Corey Fishman, our director. Drama in the Bahamas, and it's not done. Join us on CBS next weekend, starting at 3:30 Eastern for the championship. Jarrett Jack, 35 points.